Let me welcome on board Kumar Rajagopalan, the CEO at Retailers Association of India, and get a buzz on what exactly is happening this festive season. Kumar, great to have you on ET Now. Morning, firstly, the ongoing festive season, supposedly the best, not just over the last 3 years, but as we understand, over the pre-pandemic turnover as well. Quantify some figures for us as to what kind of growth in sales that you're currently seeing when it comes to different retail spaces, consumer durables, apparels, grocery, household items, jewelry, and all of that.
Thank you and good morning and season greetings to everybody. It does look like a very good season so far. Like you said, I mean, if you look at the retail industry from April onwards, we've already seen a good growth over pre-pandemic, and that's the right criterion to think about. About 20% growth is the average up to August. The September data is yet to come in, but whatever we've seen as data looks very encouraging. More encouraging is what's happened to the east of the country. So for all of us in retail, the east of the country is where the real barometer starts, because that's where the first set of celebrations start, because puja is a very big thing in the east. Those numbers for that part of the country look very, very encouraging. Retailers, I think, are growing about 25% pre-pandemic as far as the east is concerned. So encouraging signs across the country. Therefore, we would expect that everything should go well. This is the first time after a long time that people are allowed to go out, celebrate. They are allowed to meet each other, greet each other. People from abroad are coming in, relatives are coming in. Almost every single category is seeing nice growth. If you remember, during the pandemic, only two categories were really keeping things okay. One was food, and the other one was all consumer durables and electronic items. But now, with people wanting to go for travel, they are all wanting to go on vacations, they are also wanting to celebrate well, they are going to each other's houses, they are meeting in other places. So restaurants, eating out is doing very well. Garments and all the wearable accessories doing well. Jewelry, therefore, is also doing well. Footwear is doing well because all kinds of footwear is being bought by consumers. The footwear to go out, leisure wear is, of course, doing extremely well even now. I think there is this new sense of health in the minds of people. So that is doing well also. So overall, I would think that expectation is about 25% or so above pre-pandemic. Compared to the pandemic levels, the numbers can be crazy. I do not want to talk about it because sometimes, depending upon the month, it may look like 50%, 60% growth, which is a misnomer.
Tell me, is the growth largely coming in from urban areas, or are tier 2 and 3 cities contributing as much or more?
Yeah, actually, the concept of urban, I'd like to slightly broad based, because if you look at tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities per se, they're doing very well. I mean, no two thoughts about it. In fact, in many cases, the tier 2 and tier 3 cities have shown really robust growth. The rural sector demand, I think, is picking up now. We'll have to wait and watch as to where it would go, because we've had a decent monsoon. People are now slightly more buoyant, because end of the day, retail is about sentiments. And now things look decent for them everywhere. In the urban areas, again, a couple of months back, there was a bit of a worry, because people in the slightly lower middle class and below income levels were not buying discretionary items so much, obviously because of the inflation trend. But now my belief is that things would be better, because one, it is season and people will have to buy something during this time. And there is no reason for them to expect that things are going to be bad for them going forward. The global wars are something, I mean, subject to all this, right? Because the global issue, if at all it gets dirty, or if the Ukraine war becomes slightly more worrisome, then it's difficult. Otherwise, if the prices do not go up further and we are allowed to do whatever we want anyway, it doesn't look like the pandemic worry is there. We should expect good across sectors, across cities, and across consumer segments.
Inflation not catching up. I mean, what you could afford a year ago, now you'll have to pay 2% higher if you're buying a fridge, 2.5% higher if you're buying a mobile phone, 1.5% higher if you're buying a house. Why will demand and inflation not catch up?
No, I think it's currently the feeling of the sense of feeling the cheer, and the other part is about what they expect going forward. I think retail is all about what the expectations are, right? When you talk about large items that consumers need to buy, the financing modes have become very attractive for them. Of course, now the interest rates are firming up, but so far things have been okay. So they are still willing to take up, and finance is available in a really fast manner. So consumer finance is really supporting the larger item purchases of consumers. For the slightly smaller and for occasion wear, I think the need for feeling the sense of cheer is bigger than the amount of worry as far as inflation is concerned. We may need to start thinking what happens after December. But for now, I think consumers are buoyant, and India as a country is not looking bad at all.
Where do you
The other part is people are also wanting to go and shop outside. The offline business is really growing.
a brick and mortar retailer, the growth in offline sales always has been a cannibalizing moment. Offline online sales have had discount. They give you better schemes, better bundled up offers. What is happening there?
Well, it's two, three things. One is that at the end of the day, when a consumer wants to buy for occasion, they want to go to a place where they trust. Second part is that prices, I mean, there are always discounts on online, but many people know that it's not necessarily all the latest products that's available, or the offers are such that it can also be matched by the offline retailer. Third part is it's still a family-led affair. It's not just one person or two people buying. So when you're buying some everyday items, you may still want to look at it from offline or online, but wherever it's convenience. But when it comes to items that's relevant to occasion or travel, etc., there is lots more indulgent shopping behavior. And again, online not necessarily gives the same, let's say, feeling of trust as one would think on in an offline mode. Having said that, for many brands, online and offline is a combination. And what's happened during the pandemic is that omni-channel has become the buzzword for all of us in retail. So customers may buy it online, they may buy it offline, they may look at things online, they may come and buy offline. That's absolutely okay. As long as purchasing is happening, everybody is fine. But the thought of discounting is much more on online is not necessarily the way it is when you compare apple to apple.
Okay, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much, Kumar, for highlighting the festive cheer, and good to hear that it continues.